Devereaux!
I'm Mr. Devereaux.
What's that humming mean?
Beethoven's Fifth.
I never said I was more than I am.
Welcome everyone to episode 41 of Kiss Meets Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Eli Clausen.
And I'm one of the other hosts, Branton Young.
And our third host, we don't have one. So just wanted to take a quick second, thank everyone that left some supportive comments and feedback on last week's video regarding on the situation that happened. It was really cool to see, and I had someone show potential interest in being another host, so may follow up with that person and see what happens from there. And the search is still on, so let us know. So what's new with you this week?
Oh, just wish I was on a permanent vacation with double pay.
Yeah, with Aerosmith.
No, not with Aerosmith.
Not much going on in the Kiss world again, but there is some stuff going on in the Gene world. I'm assuming this was leaked information regarding the Gene Simmons box set that's been talked about, and we talked about it a little bit here and there. Some sort of promotional video has been released with Gene discussing the box set, or whatever you want to call it, the vault. Apparently there's some sort of version where he'll supposedly come to your house and deliver it to you. Not sure. The website is genesimmonsvault.com, but as of this time, last I checked, it still says coming soon is all that shows up. There's no actual site. And I've even seen a screenshot from the site. So again, I don't know if that stuff was leaked or photoshopped, but no real information as far as pricing yet. But if it's true about him coming to your house or whatever, that I'm sure it's going to be freaking astronomical. No, all we know is that it's apparently going to be on 10 CDs. Not sure of any track listings, although that you heard a couple samples in the video itself, which there were some things that I don't recall hearing before from what they played in the video. Not sure of an actual date of release either yet, so it's like we got the tease. I'm pretty sure it was a leak, waiting to get the full information out there.
I know when I leak something, I don't usually tease it. I usually go ahead and let it go. But what do you say with go ahead.
You usually shake it a few times?
Just a few, yes. So what do you say it was 150 plus tracks, unreleased tracks?
Yeah, 150 plus. Apparently it's from 66 all the way up into 2016. A lot of the stuff he's wrote, and apparently, Kiss demos and songs that became Kiss songs, that kind of stuff. And then another thing that I remember, what did it say? There was going to be some special surprise that he throws in. To me, it sounds like something from the vaults. I'm sure it'll be a smaller type of item.
Yeah, he said you won't believe what we found, or something like that.
Yeah, right. So it's probably just a cod piece or
I hope so.
Couple pics or something. No, I don't know. So there was that, and it seemed like there was something else that he mentioned, and I'm totally forgetting now.
He held it up to the camera. It looked like something gold. I don't.
Oh yeah, there was a Gene coin, in Gene We Trust, and then a Gene Simmons action figure.
Action figure, not with makeup.
Right, a normal Gene action figure, which was kind of funny looking. Yeah, from what they showed in the video, the thing literally looks like a miniature safe. So, like I say, I already know that's probably going to be an astronomical price. I guess there's that home version, and then I guess like something called a producer version, which I'm not sure what that's going to be either. I'm sitting here like, I just want something like that Kiss box set. I just want the freaking CDs in like some sort of box, and you know, I'll pay 100, 150, something like that, but you know, I'm not made of money. As much as I would love to do one of them higher end versions, I don't care right now because I know I can't afford it. So I want to hear about the more affordable basic version is kind of all I care about.
That's the thing. I mean, if all that's really true and everything, he's willing to deliver it to your house. It's probably like some deluxe version, because he obviously, there's no way if he has an order for say 100, he's not going to. That'd be a whole tour.
Yeah,
and how are you going to have? You can't do that.
I guarantee though, if you noticed when they say that, they showed the map and it pretty much listed all the big cities. And then at the bottom, I think it said, "Oh, and more." But I guarantee you, he won't actually come to your house. Like, say if you or I got it, he wouldn't come to our actual house. We'd have to go to like
meet him at Denny's or somewhere.
We'd have to go to like Cincinnati or Cleveland, something like that. I guarantee it. So
meet him at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Or Rock and Bruce.
There you go. Where is the closest one of those? I don't even know.
Shit.
They
Nashville?
in Michigan somewhere?
I thought they opened one up or I thought Nashville had one now, or even Indiana or Illinois, one of the two, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not real sure now.
So I guarantee there's a little kicker when it comes to that. I don't think he's going to actually show up to your actual house.
Well, and it's probably the stipulation. You have to buy this specific version of it to get even nominated or whatever you call it.
Right.
Pick your name out of a hat. So.
And if it is going to cost that much money, that's another thing. It's like I only had to pay, I think it was like $180 to be able to meet him at the freaking expo. Why all of a sudden do I need to pay $5,000 or however much that thing's going to cost to have him? I mean, okay, I know it's a little different if he came to your actual house, but still, it's still basically a meet and greet. And that's pretty much, you know, you don't even have to pay that much for a Kiss meet and greet, and I can't even afford that, let alone a cruise right now. And then if this thing's going to be double the price of what that stuff costs, that's just insane. I'm sorry, but
well, yeah, I mean, coming from Gene, of course, you're going to expect it to be outrageously priced. But at the same time, well, if he's releasing all this, I expect it to be Volume 1.
Maybe.
Because, you know, we've heard all through the years that he's wrote everything and all kinds of stuff that probably, I'd say 60 to 80%, in my opinion, has never made it to a Kiss album for a reason. And that's probably a lot of that kind of stuff that is not, you know, like not even maybe rock and roll type stuff, for all we know.
Right. I mean, like one of the clips on the video, I think, was Dr. Love, like the demo of it. And I'm pretty sure I've never heard that version before, like the demo of Dr. Love. I've heard, you know, Bad Bad Lovin', you know, that basically became Dr. Love. But the actual Dr. Love demo, I'm pretty sure I've never heard. And I think that's what I heard in the video. And, you know, so...
And the link, the video, I went to the page. Did you go to the page that the video was on YouTube?
Yeah.
And they have, I mean, it's a legitimate page, I guess. It's a Kiss-related page of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name of it now, but...
And, you know, again, like, I'm hoping, which it probably will be the case, that a lot of the stuff that is already out there that we have or heard, it'll be better quality versions of it. I would hope that it... Well, okay, I did remember one more thing, is it comes with a big old thick book of photos from his collection, and, you know, I'm sure there'll be some unseen photos, and, you know, that's kind of cool. I would love to have, like, a DVD or something come with it with, you know, personal home videos or stuff like that, but as far as I know, that's not in the cards for it. But, I mean, like I said, right now, we don't even know the full track listing, a release date, the actual prices, but the Gene Simmons Vault site is coming any day now because it's up. It just says all it says is coming soon in plain
Well,
text.
I actually am getting a little bit more excited now because we do have something tangible at least.
Yeah, at least we have, whether it was leaked or not, we have that video, the promo video with Gene himself talking about it.
Gene. It wasn't a Gene
It wasn't Spiro or.
no.
Yeah, so we had that, and it was enough to get you excited. And I've been checking a couple times a day now that Gene Simmons Vault site to see if it is live yet, and it's not. And occasionally I'll go to Gene's regular site to see if anything's on there. Nothing.
I went on genesimmons.com and I scrolled everything, and you know how they have the banners up at the top that scrolls by itself of current things, and I didn't see anything about anything. So I'm thinking, that's strange. To me, that's strange because if he went to the trouble to make an actual video promoting it, and we're talking about Gene Simmons here, it seems like at least that video or at least a mention of it would be on his website.
Right.
So that was something that I was sort of, okay, I don't know, I'm skeptical about everything. So that just made me have a little bit of a doubt that this is, it's Gene Simmons, so he wouldn't have made the video if it wasn't happening.
Right.
It seems like he's promoting it on his own site a little bit.
And I hope that if, this stuff was leaked, which it looks like was the case, I hope that doesn't mean that all of a sudden it's going to push it back because they got to, do something bigger now. But, again, I just want a freaking basic version that comes in a little box that has all 10 CDs or whatever. And it'd be nice if it came with that book, too, to be honest. I hope that is going to be a possibility and not just some high-dollar miniature safe-looking thing, 3 different types of versions. I hope that's not the only choice. And, I would hate to have to revert to going on iTunes, and if it's on iTunes and buying it digitally just to have the music, I would hate to have to do it that way or whatever. But so I'm really hoping and keeping, all my fingers and every limb crossed.
My thing is, and of course I'd have to see it, I think, too, more than what we've seen. But I think I would probably at least pay maybe $100 for it. But that's not something that I can just shell out at any time.
That's always what I've had in my head, anywhere from 100, maybe 250 or so, because I think that when that Casablanca singles thing came out, I think that was about 250 or so. So I think that would probably be about the cutoff that I would be willing to pay, depending on...
Was that strictly online, that price for that singles box?
Yeah, it was... I had pre-ordered it. I think it was through Universal at the time.
CDs you're talking about?
The vinyl.
The vinyl.
Yeah. And, they're still pretty much selling for the same price. They haven't really gone down much from what I've seen. But yeah, that's probably kind of my cutoff limit would be like maybe 250, maybe a tad bit more just depending on what it comes with. But if it's around like Christmas time, and if that has to be my only Christmas present, hey, I'm totally fine with that.
What if there was and of course this is all speculation, but what if there was like home videos of Gene like as a kid and stuff in there?
Oh, I'm hoping that there's something like that included that they didn't announce, like, home video footage of Kiss on tour, backstage in the studio. Like, I'm dying to see footage from the studio of those days, because I know in my heart that there has to be footage of that stuff out there.
Just wonder what the stipulations is. Like, if it's like, of course it's going to be, there's Kiss demos on there from what we understand. So is audio and video considered the same thing? And what I mean is, since Paul obviously owns half of things that are Kiss, I'm assuming it works like that, would he have to okay it and go through it with Gene and say, okay, you can put this on there, but I don't want this on there? You know what I mean? Because they would almost have to agree or disagree on stuff for it to come out if it was Kiss or Kiss related.
For the most part, yes, unless it's a song that Gene has the sole writing credit on, then it's his to do whatever with. Now, again, they said 10 CDs, which we don't know if that means 10 CDs full of music, or is it 10 CDs total, and one of those discs is a DVD, or
That's true. That's
something
true.
to that effect as well. So, you know, they teased us, whether it was leaked or not. Now it's like the crackhead thing kicks in, and it's like checking that site a couple times a day, wanting to find out all these details.
If it's 150 plus of unreleased songs, you can get, depending on song length, of course, you can get like 20 to 22 songs approximately on a regular CD. Of course, if you're making your own, I don't know if there's a way to just put as many as you want. If it's, I mean, not a data CD, but just like a regular music CD.
Yeah.
Well, if you do the math, how many discs would that be, and how many would be left over? You know, if you're trying to figure out if there's a DVD with it.
Well, I mean,
150 plus, you know, that's less than 200, or he would have said 200 plus.
well, let's say, for example, there's 20 songs on a disc. 7 discs would be 140 songs right there. So that would only leave, 10 tracks for an 8th disc, which probably wouldn't, I'm sure it's not going to be that way, because that wouldn't add outright, but that would still leave potentially 2 discs for who knows what. But it's probably, I have a feeling it's just going to end up being the 10 CDs full of the music, but I'm just trying to keep that little glimmer of hope that maybe there is going to be a DVD included as well with the book and everything.
You know, Kiss fans are so greedy. It's like he's already saying 150 plus unreleased tracks, and now we're talking about, oh, I hope it has a DVD and another DVD and another book and another.
Well, it's like we talked about, like, or at least I've said, like, I'm more excited about getting more of this old vault stuff than a new Kiss album, in my own opinion. Like, and this is kind of a taste of that. I mean, because there's going to be some Kiss stuff on there. And
Although we would be happy with one of each.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. If Kiss.
But yeah, I would rather have the old stuff that we've not heard.
Yeah, I mean, if they turn around and announce right behind that Kiss is working on a new album and it's coming out such and such time frame, I'd be all over it. Yeah, I'm not saying I won't be, but when it comes to what I would prefer right now, I would prefer the older stuff, the vault stuff. And with the Gene thing, there's going to be Kiss stuff on there, and there's always that glimmer of hope that maybe we will get a DVD that has some of that stuff along the lines of what we've been wanting to see.
Something else that makes, and I don't know why I think this, but with the box set, coming out whenever, I almost feel like, okay, this is the beginning of them starting to release stuff. And I know it's just got Gene's name on it technically, but, Paul could do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. Like, could that be part of the plan? Paul's going to maybe do a box set too down the road. People talked about Vinny doing one. And from what I hear, there's supposedly going to be some music-related announcements coming out, at the expo that he's going to be at. And who knows, maybe there'll be a Vinny box set coming too. That'd be awesome. But,
to think of it, and this is sort of even crazier, there's never been a Peter Criss box set. There's never been an Ace Frehley box set.
No. I've seen, unofficial versions put together, but, yeah, let's get an official one.
There really could be. Probably Ace Frehley, maybe more so, but I think Peter Criss has enough stuff. I don't know if he owns the rights to everything, but like with his previous bands from Kiss and then everything after Kiss.
Well, for example, the first Frehley's Common album is finally getting a re-release on blue vinyl for the Rocktober series that they do every year. That's a start there. That's something we recently had mentioned on the show is why haven't none of the Frehley's Comet stuff been re-released? Well, here we go. It's
like with the Vinnie Vincent Invasion, they remastered them in 2003 and released them on CD, but they haven't remastered or reissued them on vinyl yet. So they could still do that too. Like, and this would be a really good time considering Vinnie Vincent's, going to do this expo.
See, and we're getting into a really exciting time as a Kiss fan, because with this Gene box set on the horizon, and still waiting to find out exactly what it's all about, and then with Vinnie making an appearance and waiting to hear what his announcements are going to be.
And I know how Paul probably thinks, and how him and Gene have that sort of competition thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And this might actually push to get Kissology 4 put out.
Yeah, again, like,
because it's supposedly 80+% done, according to Tommy Thayer, about a year or so ago, whatever it was. So it could be done for all we know, and just waiting for Paul Stanley to say, okay, green light.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how that works.
I would love for this to lead into an actual Kiss, whether it's Kissology or something with a different title, but along those same lines, to follow the Gene box set and whatever comes next.
Right before Christmas seems to be when they really would do that.
Yep. So, and I have a feeling the Gene box set will be out before or right around Christmas, which would be a perfect idea. So yeah, I mean, I'm just, I cannot wait to find out what all basically the track listing and what all the other details, and not to mention the book is going to be awesome too, because never before seen photos, that's pretty much the same as never before seen footage at the same time. Like, I'm really excited to see that. And just when he flipped through a little bit in the video, there was a couple photos that I had never seen before. So
yeah, it's like kids in a candy store.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's another exciting time to be a Kiss fan. Every now and then it seems like there's nothing happening, but then all of a sudden things start popping up, and it just immediately you're just full of excitement.
I'm sure that Paul and Gene are aware of this Vinnie Vincent thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Gene's box set has anything to do with that, because I'm sure it doesn't. But I just wonder if, it's like one thing triggers something else type. Because if it's all Kiss related, it's like, okay, well, if he's going to do this, I'll do this type, because that's why Gene is doing his solo thing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's his solo band, because he had some downtime and didn't want to go home.
Right. He likes to stay busy. And, who's to say, and we don't know, what if maybe they've been in touch with Vinnie. Maybe they've finally made amends with each other, and maybe they could be working together on something down the road, whether it's releasing some demo, unreleased stuff, or who knows.
I would like to see like a DVD or Blu-ray of either a full show or a compilation of the stuff from the Gene's tour.
Yeah, yeah.
And I could see him doing that for sure.
Yeah, and Paul and the Soul Station, I'd love to see. And then we've talked about with the Kiss Cruise, they should put out an anthology just of that stuff. With all the sail away stuff and the indoor shows and all that, or like whether it's a best of or a bunch of discs with the full things on them,
Well, I think what I would do and I'm not nearly as good at marketing as people that are actually do that for a living, of course, or I would be doing it for a living. But I think that they could do like the Kiss Cruise Volume 1, or like here's the Kiss Cruise, the first one. Have all that, whatever they want to include on it, as much as they could, and then do the second one, 2-3 months, 6-8 months later. Then do the third one, because what has it been, like 6 of them already now or something?
That's what I was thinking. Is this one going to be the 6th or the 7th? I think this is going to be the 7th, isn't it?
Well, they're going by Roman numerals, so I always get lost when it comes to.
I think it's 7 this year. So, do a volume 1 of the first 3 and put the full sail away shows and the indoor shows, and maybe some of that other special stuff, like the ones where Paul did like a solo acoustic thing, stuff like that, and then do a volume 2 of the next 3, and so on. But have it come with replicas of like the tickets or of the, like the posters they would give out, replicas of those, with the printed autographs or something like that. I don't know. Kind of like, with Kissology, how they came with some replica tickets and whatnot, backstage passes and all that kind of stuff. But
well, like with when Unplugged was on Kissology, wasn't the complete unedited one, but they had added, I don't know how many songs exactly, but they had added a bunch of footage that wasn't on the MTV version. So I'd like to see them do that with everything, and I know that's just like really far-fetched, but they have all kinds of footage, and I've heard people say, and maybe even they said this, oh, we don't own everything, and we understand they don't own everything, which would have a lot to do with why some of the stuff on Kissology wasn't as good as some of the stuff that other people have or have seen.
Right.
And I know it costs money, but you have to spend money to make money, and I'm sure Gene knows all about that. I don't know how much money he likes to spend. Probably not much.
I mean, if they're not going to take advantage of the, putting official releases out of all the live stuff that's out there, which are all the bootleggers are doing, fine. Put out stuff that those people don't have access to or don't have. Stuff that truly is never heard or seen before, which some of that, I'm not saying everything on the Gene box set is stuff that we haven't already heard or have, but I bet a lot of it will be, and a lot of it will be better quality on top of that too. And there'll be photos we've never seen that those bootleggers don't have a hold of, and if there's a DVD, hopefully, but so if, like I say, if Kiss isn't gonna counter and do that with the live stuff, then yeah, let's get a bunch of stuff from the vaults and stuff that has never been truly heard before. And, don't touch me like that.
My head was getting cut off.
Yeah, so I just cannot wait to see that site go live and get more detail about it, and just to hear like little sample clips of some of the stuff too is.
Well, I hope that ever how many CDs is going to have just music on it. I hope they're in chronological order.
I'm sure it will be. I mean, 50 years of stuff, 66 to 16. I would hope that it's pretty much in order, like basically with the Kiss box set. Have it start with all that early and up, and so apparently if he's been writing new music himself up until like last year, I know I haven't heard nothing like that myself. So,
well, I don't think I've heard. I don't think I've heard demos off of any of the last two albums.
No, that's true.
So there's all of that stuff, more than likely.
Yeah, there's that stuff, and
or at least Sonic Boom was what, in 15?
No, that was 2009.
Was that 2009?
Yeah.
Was it really? Where do I get 15 at?
Monster, probably. Or was that even... No, that was even...
I don't know the dates. I thought I did, but...
I think Monster was like 13. I want to say 13. But,
those will be on there, because I was getting ready to say that Monster might not be, but yeah, I guess it would be then.
Yeah, I'd like to hear some stuff that didn't make the album or demo versions of those, from those albums, and they're, like I say, we've heard a lot of demos from Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, Elder, stuff like that, but
the thing that almost is clear, I would assume, if Gene's releasing a box set with all the stuff he's written from all those from the beginning up till now, it would almost lead me to believe that there's not going to be another Kiss box set, because he would, and I'm not saying he couldn't still have enough stuff to release on a Kiss box set in addition to that, but if there's demos from key songs on Kiss albums, if he releases them on this box set, then they're probably not going to be anything left to put on a Kiss box set that would be... I mean, Kiss fans would buy it no matter what, but you know what I mean.
Maybe not, because a lot of the stuff that him and Paul wrote together, that would be, a lot of good stuff to put on the Kiss box set like that. Again, more stuff, and stuff like the Dynasty rehearsal stuff that's out there. Hearing them pretty much working on writing a lot of those songs. Like, is there more stuff like that out there from the different eras? Like, we've seen rehearsal footage, of like the Rock and Roll Over tour and whatnot. Stuff like that. Like, is there more out there from all these different tours? And I'm sure it doesn't exist, but if there was ever video footage of them, like when they were first getting the band going and like putting on makeup and figuring out their makeup, that would be, to me, that would be like the holy grail of Kiss video footage.
Seems like I'd heard, and you probably have too, that Bill LaCoin had a lot of that stuff, and a lot of that stuff was, I guess, misplaced or lost or something after his passing. I don't know who ended up with it or if anyone did. And he had, potentially, he could have had a lot of those reels that he recorded, when he was recording the Kiss shows and the rehearsals or whatever it was.
Well, from what I understand, oh God, I can't remember his name now. I feel bad.
Roman?
Yeah, Roman has possession of that stuff now. But what's this stuff that Gene, they found, and could that be the stuff that Bill had, or some of it?
It could be.
We don't know.
Well, we do know that everything that's in the vault that was on Kiss Exposed, we already have. So I hope it's not that vault.
Oh, God. They need to bring back Joseph Kiss Sr., though. We need a picture of him.
Maybe he'll be on the front cover of the Gene's box set. Actually, well, in that picture, and I know this is a fictional thing anyway, but they said without makeup. I'm curious as to whose makeup he would have been wearing if that was really a thing. It would have to be either Paul or Gene's makeup, one or the other. And if it was Paul's, it would be the Bandit makeup if it was that far back. Of course, we're speculating like eons back to, 1800 and whatever Paul said.
Okay, but if Joseph Kiss Sr. was the one that created the idea of Kiss, how would he be wearing any of those makeup designs? Because they wouldn't have existed.
That's true, too. So he would have his own makeup.
Yeah, it would have been like his own.
Picture of him without makeup. Did he say that, or was Gene talking about something else in the video?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've watched that tape. I've been wanting to watch it, actually, but I want to say it was regarding that. I don't remember.
Maybe he had his own makeup. If that was a character that somebody, could have developed and ran with it just from that mention on that home video, he could have gave him a real life and a real backstory. Because I'm sure that painting is a painting, I don't know how famous it is, but it was a painting that was hanging there for a reason.
Yeah.
I would think.
Somebody needs to dress up like him at one of the expos or something. Who are
He's
you?
finally here. We got him as a special guest.
Who are you supposed to be? I'm Joseph Kiss Sr. What?
Yeah. Some people might not know who that is.
Yeah. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, I wouldn't know him if I seen him, but I would speculate that that's probably who that guy is, depending on how he's dressed from that time period, whatever it was.
But see, that's another thing when I was talking about, it's another exciting period about a Kiss fan with all that stuff. Right on the heels after all that stuff will be the Indianapolis Expo coming, so it's like, cannot wait to hear what's going to happen for that, and it's the anniversary show and all that. So,
well, did you see what Bill Starkey posted on Facebook? I think it was yesterday.
No.
He was talking about the Kiss Gene, the Gene box set. I guess he had heard about it or watched the video, I don't know which. And he was saying how that, and he was joking, how that it's going to come with Paul Stanley's cell phone number, and it's going to have like a book with Gene's hussies in it, and I don't know what else. But that's funny because, and I don't think he was there last year, was he, at the expo? Keith LaRue was there, of course, for Kiss Online, but
I think Starkey was there.
Was he there?
I think, yeah, I remember seeing him, yeah.
Did you see him? Because I don't remember seeing him last year.
as many years as he's been there, I still haven't had a chance to go up and, shake his hand or say hi or anything like that. But I've seen him there the last couple of years.
Because I know I usually see him. I just don't remember seeing him last time.
Yeah.
Hey, elaborate who Bill Starkey is, I guess.
Yeah, we didn't elaborate on anything yet. Especially Joseph Kiss Sr. Some heads are going to explode.
Joseph Kiss Sr. was in the Kiss Exposed home video. There's a section in there where Paul points to him, and I think I have said that before, but it's on our Facebook page if you scroll far enough back. And then, what was we just talking about? Bill Starkey was he the founder or the co-founder of the Kiss Army in Indiana, or the original Kiss Army?
I guess in a way he was a co-founder because it was him and some of his buddies, but he was really the one that was kind of the head of it, though, that really...
He's the name that I recognize.
Right, he's the one that gets the credit because he's really the one that was more gung-ho about it and, threatening the radio stations and stuff. Which in this day and age, if someone were to do that, they'd treat you like you're a terrorist or something.
Yeah, they'd have everything locked down and it'd have the SWAT team out.
It'd be the Kiss Jihad or something instead of the Kiss Army.
Yeah, it'd be dangerous for sure.
Yeah.
But so that I guess what the story was, they did actually play Kiss, and then everybody went home or something. Is that what happened?
Basically, they started playing more Kiss. They brought the band in to the studio, and then they ended up doing a show in that area. So it was like this huge thing. And
Cadillac, Michigan, was that the same time?
No, well,
and that was on my birthday. Cadillac, Michigan.
Was it?
Yeah, when Kiss was there. Yeah.
Was you there?
Nope. October 9th. I wish.
They dropped you out of the helicopter?
October
9th?
October 9th.
Wow, there's a lot of stuff on October 9th.
That was in 75, so let's see, how old was I? I was about 6 or 7 years old, probably, so.
Wow. If only you knew. You could have been
Yeah,
there.
right. And, but I didn't know anything at that point. I mean, I don't think I even got my first Kiss album until 76. It was alive, but I don't think I got it until 76.
I've seen people selling those flyers that they dropped out of the helicopter, like a great condition original, for like $2,000.
Wow.
Just imagine, yeah.
How do you authenticate something like that when that's so easily produced now?
That is true.
I mean, you'd have to have it in a frame with, I don't know who gives you authenticity for something like that. I know there's appraisers, and if you watch like Pawn Stars, they'll take stuff occasionally to people that are dealing with certain types of books or whatever.
Yeah, there's certain verification companies out there that are kind of the ones you want to go to when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I don't want to sit here and say, who would make a fake version of that, because I'm sure someone out there probably has.
Well, how much did you pay for yours, since yours is an original?
Yeah, I wish.
How much would you pay for one of those if it showed up on eBay? Would you really want one?
I think it'd be kind of cool to have, but I couldn't see paying more than $20, and that's even kind of steep, in my opinion, for a piece of paper that just has that stuff printed on it.
Unless it had Paul's lipstick on it.
Like, I get the idea and significance that it was cool that, they dropped him out of the helicopter and that was a big moment in history, but for... How
much would you pay for a used Gene Simmons blood cup? Like with confetti in it, like Sebastian Bach had. How much would you pay for that? And how would you prove that? I guess it would have Gene's spit in it. His DNA would be in there.
I'm not so sure that I would even want one, to be honest. Like maybe a towel, but actually one of the guys in the tribute band, Mark, he said he had Gene's blood towel back from the Creature store.
Oh, really?
And that same night, after the show was over, they cut it up into a bunch of squares so he can give it to other people that was around that was wanting it, so that way they can all have a piece.
Wow.
And he doesn't even have it anymore. On top of that, I was like, you suck.
Well, what was it? I heard that somebody had those online. I don't know if they were trying to sell them or what. And it looked like it had Gene's actual makeup.
All
print on
four
it.
of them.
Yeah. It's
Like supposedly they all shared that towel after the show, and it was like perfect impressions of the. Get real, people. That was one of the best ever I've seen.
I wonder how much that went for if they were selling that.
Oh my god! If
And
someone bought that,
why would somebody fall for that?
I would have bought it had it been dirt cheap, just because it would have been a funny item to have, but
Right.
not if it went more than $10.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that somewhere.
Yeah, that was a good one. Someone
Well,
someone probably fell for it and paid $1,000 or more for it.
if there's money to be made, and with like Kiss and the Beatles and a few select bands, there's people out there that can probably produce stuff. It may be even better than the real thing a lot of times.
That's the thing with nowadays technology. It's so hard sometimes to tell, fakes from the real, and it's just it's sad at the same time because now everything you go to buy or pick up, it's all got you got to have verification of everything now instead of just the moment of finding that item and the excitement. Oh, well, is this real? And do you have paperwork for it? And this and that.
Well, I think what is cool is a while back I seen somebody made an Elder box, like
Yeah.
a box set of the Elder or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's kind of stuff that I wish Kiss would do.
Oh, yeah, it was the Fridays stuff that they put on there.
Is that what it was?
And that's what I mean, like, with all that live stuff and things like that get made by these bootleggers, and I'm not going to lie, they're great packaged items. I mean, the artwork on them, and
Well, and I'm sure that Kissology 4 exists in bootleg form.
probably, and just the artwork on them, and inserts they like posters and other types of inserts I mean, they're just so nicely made. Now, the audio quality is not always the greatest based on what the source is. I've got a couple beautiful, nice looking bootleg albums that they look great and everything that comes with them, but the sound is like a horrible audience recording. But it is what it is. I mean, it's for the more diehard fans that.
Well, it's funny because if I was to get a bootleg of Kiss on vinyl and it sounded like not the greatest, I would still be fairly okay with it because it's one, it's on vinyl, and two, it's Kiss.
Exactly.
But if I bought a store bought, let's say new album from somebody and it sounded like crap, then I would be upset about it.
Right. And that's the thing, it's more for the diehards that we can put up with it sounding that way because it's Kiss period and it's a different version, you know what I mean? Now, stuff like the Alive 2 outtakes, this sounds freaking amazing. It's like a soundboard recording. But then like, say the Phantom show, it's a real bad audience recording, it's real bassy. But again, that's one of the shows I've wanted the most out of all Kiss shows. Being that it was, the full show basically from the Phantom of the Park. So I can put up with it, and plus it looks good on top of that, if anything. So.
Well, I remember back when I was in high school, I would get a lot of VHS tapes of bootleg concerts from whoever.
Yeah.
And, I got used to watching a lot of that because that was the only way you could see it. I remember I had a Metallica one from the Ride the Lightning. I think it was from Master of Puppets when they opened for Ozzy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it was at Nassau Coliseum, I think. And, people that film them, the camera would move away and it would be over here. And but they were really watchable considering that was all you had when
Right.
people started getting camcorders. And with Kiss stuff too, I haven't seen a lot of that type of stuff with Kiss, and I've sort of wondered why. Like even Asylum, you would think Asylum, Animalize, a lot of the '80s period, you'd see a lot of that same type of stuff that you'd see bootlegged of other bands. Have you seen a lot of that? I really haven't.
Well, it's like a lot of the Kiss bootleg video that's not professionally shot. It's all 8mm, 16mm stuff. So you either don't have sound on it, or it's incomplete, and it's just little snippets here and there. But it's enough to be like, oh my god, that's.
I wonder why that is, because I don't remember what catalogs I had, but you could get pretty much any band you wanted at that time, and I'm talking about like newer. What was mainly considered thrash at the time, Metallica and Slayer and that kind of stuff. But I don't ever remember seeing a lot of like Poison and Cinderella and Kiss and a lot of the other stuff that was that type. I don't know if there just wasn't an audience for it or what.
I don't think the doing filming shows yourself was as big as it became at that time. There would be some stuff out there, but not to the degree that it is today, where you could find tons of, fan shot Kiss shows and all that. And if you really think about it, like with the Metallica thing and all, it's amazing. Like, back at that time, and it would have been one of them big ass cameras, and the fact that they were able to get it in there, and
more than likely that far back. What would that have been, like 86, 87? I don't know, right around in there.
About 85, 86, I believe, yeah.
So that's like, because Ozzy was on probably the Ultimate Sin tour, I guess. I don't remember. So I can't imagine, first of all, them letting you, well, they probably didn't let them in, but how would you get one of those cameras in? Because they were a lot more strict back then on that stuff, from what I remember. I mean, I got a couple audio of some shows, but I remember going to the state fair and trying to videotape, and I was in like the fourth row, and security said I got like a half a song, and they said, you need to put that away or we're going to take it. And it was a regular handheld. This was like in the 90s. So in the 80s, I think they were probably more strict about that, and the cameras were a lot bigger. So
But people had ways, man. Like, I more props to them. I mean, there's actually there's a documentary out there that talks about all that stuff, and the stuff they went through. And,
is that on Netflix by any chance?
I can't remember if it was on Netflix or even just YouTube. I think it might have been on. I can't remember where I watched it at, but
there's this, have you seen that Aerosmith video, Let the Music Do the Talking?
No, I don't think I have.
This guy and girl, they sneak in an Aerosmith show, or at least they sneak in a camera, and it's under his hat, and he takes his hat off, and they start filming the show with that, and it's like, that's probably how some of it was done. I mean, he wasn't like a top hat, but it was something similar, I think.
Well, hell, like back that one video, the Beastie Boys, they encouraged people to film it. They put cameras inside of beach balls and bounced around and had people filming with that, and they encouraged people to film, and everybody would send in their footage, and they pieced the whole movie together.
I remember on MTV they had a contest with the Bon Jovi's Bad Medicine video, and they had I guess before the show, I don't know if Bon Jovi themselves or it's probably their security guards handed out everybody with cameras, and they said go anywhere you want, film anything you want, and then there's two versions of the Bad Medicine video from those type of things. It's like that was sort of cool. I wish all bands would do that, really.
Yeah, it's awesome. But and nowadays, of course, it's so different because it's all on your phone, and the cameras aren't too bad of quality, and the most they could do now is just say, oh, no filming, but they can't like kick you out or try to take it from you. And most of the time, it's a lot easier to get away with now, and a lot of them don't even bother saying anything because so many people have their phones out filming it. Because now you can find tons of videos from a show like the next day.
I think that's probably why they've realized that, okay, not only does YouTube exist, but everyone has a phone and everyone can videotape anything at any time. So it almost, in a way, it sort of cuts out bootleggers automatically.
Yeah.
And then by them allowing it because there's nothing they can do, it sort of takes care of itself.
And it has helped me grow the Kiss show collection because there's, a couple channels on there that are just uploading shows constantly. Like, they're fan shot, most of them all, but still, they're watchable. It's Kiss, and it's, and me personally, yeah, I would prefer if it was still like the old days where you had like a catalog and the mail type thing, but today you can just jump on YouTube and put in the search for whatever show, and nine times out of 10 it's on there, whether it's just audio or video.
I remember ordering shows from catalogs, and it seemed to take forever.
Yeah.
To get that VHS tape of whatever concert, at the time I ordered.
See, that's the thing. Back in the day, when you ordered something, you used to have to wait 4 to 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks to get it.
Yeah.
And that's something else that nowadays, a lot of these young kids, they don't realize, how quickly you can get things nowadays, and they think waiting 2 days is, oh God, I'm dying, I can't.
Well,
shit.
I remember the very first commercials that I remember seeing of like FedEx and UPS and some of that. I don't know when that was originally, when they started making commercials for it. But I remember seeing that, and I'm thinking, that's odd. Why would you care about getting something that soon? I remember thinking that at the time. It's like, well, now I know.
Exactly. No one's half the battle. Yeah, I mean, I remember, like the Columbia House stuff, ordering movies or CDs, and it just felt like forever. And then they'd show up and you'd be like, I don't even remember what I ordered. Like, oh, let me see what old movies we got, because it'd be like 500 movies for a penny, the way they would do it. So you'd have so many in there, and it was painful at times. But
I know I was in some of those. I was in the Columbia House, and I was in BMG, and I was in RCA. I think all at the same time, or at least 2 out of the 3 at the same time. And, I'd get stuff, they sent those cards automatically for the feature CD of the month or whatever it was. And I couldn't keep track because I didn't know which was which and when did you get this one, and I always forgot to send them back. So then they'd send something I didn't want, or I'd just end up keeping it anyway.
Yeah.
And I think to this day, I still have a couple CDs from that I never even opened. I'm not going to return them, whatever. I'll just pay the bill.
Right. And, it's... God, I forgot what I was going to say now, again. But, I remember hearing that, pretty recently, and this has probably been going on for a couple of years now, that Columbia House was supposedly going to bring back their vinyl service.
I heard that too.
But like I say, that's probably been going on for a few years now that I've heard that rumbling, so I don't know if that's ever going to happen or if they've already shit-canned it or what. But
well, I hate to say this, but I read recently that this year is the first year in ever how many years vinyl has been going up that it's not going up. Sales is not going up anymore.
Well, a lot of that's because, for one, the hipsters and the kids, the fad is probably starting to wear off of them. But then the prices are still inflated, which a lot of us don't want to pay, so they're going to have to get them prices down again. And
the other thing is, which is a little bit of a controversy we've heard about lately, is they're not using master tapes, and they're just taking digital files and converting them to vinyl, and that's not the way you're supposed to do it in the first place.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, they're charging $40 for this new reissued, remastered. You can go to the record store, find an original for maybe $5, and it's going to sound better than that new remastered, remixed version. Because sometimes that stuff comes out and it's just like, it's low volume, it's missing that presence, but the original, you put that on and it's there. So sometimes
it's like everything else, they've taken a great thing like vinyl was originally when it was replaced by CDs and sort of buried it, but all because they're pushing, CD sales. And now it's almost, in a way it's like that, but in a way it's sort of different because everyone has brought back vinyl, but then at the same time, it's not really what it's supposed to be. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of variations, but how do you know, other than listening to it, you can't really look at it, and like the 180 gram thing, and some of them's 200 gram. I got a couple Jimi Hendrix, it's 200 gram. And I've heard a lot of different things about that. Oh, well, that doesn't matter. Oh, well, yeah, it does matter, because it's the sound quality, it's thicker, it helps the music retain this and that and whatever. So who do you believe? I mean, if you know anything about vinyl, you know what's right and what isn't by what you buy and what you listen to. But
and a lot of times that stuff doesn't sound good because all they're doing is using like recycled vinyl to make those records.
Right.
So even though they say, oh, it's 200 gram, 180, whatever, it's the sound quality is still going to be poor because of that recycled vinyl.
Well, and that's something that sort of confused me. It's like, okay, I have here, let me just pull out a record here at random. God forbid what it might be. Okay, this is it's a country record or something.
God forbid, they had some good songs.
See, this is just a regular record, so it's not one of those real flimsy ones, but it's not a 180 gram, obviously.
Is that Revenge?
Yeah, this is a country.
My UK copy of Revenge is that exact same label.
Really?
Yeah.
But, it's like, where down the line did they decide 180 gram is what the majority of the reissues are? I wonder where that came from.
I think it was just, for the most part, like a gimmick, and if the record's heavier, it's gonna, play better. It's gonna lay more flat on your table, but like I say, I mean,
because it seems like it'd be cheaper to make a thinner record to me, like like a lot of the earlier ones were a lot, not like some of those cheap budget labels, because those are like like that kind of flimsy.
Right, and then sometimes they'll stretch the album out into 2 records when it doesn't need to be, or a record that should be 2 records, they squeeze it all on 1 record. So then
like 8 records used to do that a lot.
Right, and that deteriorates.
Have like 20 songs on 1 record.
Yeah,
on
and then
one side,
and that deteriorates the quality. But then you got the ones that shouldn't be, and they'll put like 2 or 3 songs on a side just to stretch it out, and then it's still not much better sound quality.
Well, I've noticed too, and I'm sure everybody that knows anything about records knows this, but if you play a 45 of whatever single song, and then you play the same song on an album, it is completely different sound altogether.
Yeah. Yeah. And, especially like for whatever, when you're playing an album, you get to say the last song on the track or on the side. Obviously, that's a little less quality than what the first 1 or 2, maybe 3 songs have because of the time it has to spin. So you get that too sometimes. Depending on your cartridge,
right?
Because the old cartridge I used, you could really tell when it got to the last track. You could tell that difference. But
sometimes the last track will skip when none of the tracks previous skip.
Yeah. But I will say, ever since I've had the cartridge that I'm using now, I notice it doesn't sound too much worse on the last track versus the way the other cartridge made it sound.
What would you say that the best Kiss album on vinyl you have? What sounds the best? as far as like whether it's an original or reissue, either one.
Probably Love Gun.
Really.
I think that's one reason that's always been one of my favorites is just the overall sound of it, and especially on vinyl. It's just really, really mixed well. It's, good low end, good high end mixture.
Well, I think that those albums that, and I don't know, did Eddie Kramer do that one? Because I know the Eddie Kramer albums, to me, were always really good. Like, was that Rock and Roll Over? And what was the first album he did that one? Did he do the first album?
No, he did the demos for the first album.
He did a live.
Yeah, live, Rock and Roll Over. But Love Gun, I believe, was it Ezra?
The sound of Love Gun, I thought, was really as good as Rock and Roll Over. That's why I just assumed it was Eddie Kramer.
Yeah, just the way they recorded them, they probably would have sounded identical had they have not recorded Rock and Roll Over the way they did.
I just want to say I'm a Kiss fan, but I don't know everything.
That is true. Neither do I. Yeah, so that was our little vinyl rant, but yeah. So when it comes down to it, I think the vinyl market has been oversaturated again, which that's pretty much what happens to everything these days.
Yeah,
and it'll still be there for all of us that are the real lovers of the vinyl and the sound quality, but the ones that are doing it as a fad. And
well, I think it has, to a certain degree, if not completely, killed CDs. Because the only two mediums that are substantial is vinyl and MP3s.
I mean, there's still, I don't know, there's still kind of a market to CDs, I think, because...
I'll buy CDs because some of that stuff, it doesn't exist on vinyl, or I've never seen it on vinyl. Plus, CDs are sort of like vinyl used to be before they got, to where they are now. CDs are a lot cheaper now than they were.
Well, that too, and a lot of times CDs are going to come with a bonus disc that they don't necessarily put on vinyl, or even like a DVD or Blu-ray, which you don't always get with vinyl.
If you get on Amazon and look through whatever it is you're looking for, when it comes to CDs, there's a lot of stuff that came out originally when CDs were still going strong that has never, to my knowledge, a lot of it hasn't appeared on vinyl for whatever reason.
Right.
It was a specific compilation that was made specifically for a CD because it has like 30 tracks on it or something, so for them to release it on a triple vinyl is just not a moneymaker, so they're not going to do it.
I mean, there's stuff...
You'll find a lot of stuff on CD based on those things.
Well, it's vice versa, too. There was stuff on vinyl that was never put on CD.
Right.
And the same goes with movies. There's stuff that was never put on DVD.
Like those VHS tapes behind you there.
Yeah. And the ones that you're going to be giving me.
Yeah, I got that. Hang on for a second. Let's do no, never mind.
Well, we're getting ready...
False alarm.
Yeah, we're getting ready to wrap up. We're getting ready to wrap up here in a minute anyway. So, but a good example is the Kiss Vegas when that came out. It came with the DVD, but not the Blu-ray version. If you wanted to get the Blu-ray, you had to buy the CD version, and the CD version came with the bonus disc of the acoustic stuff. So there's kind of that, and in a way, it's also the marketing, because that's how they get you to buy both, to increase the sales. And you got to buy this copy to, both copies just to have everything. And another good example.
They do that with regular movies too. They'll have like the digital, the Blu-ray, and the DVD all in one package. So if you just happen to have a DVD player that doesn't play Blu-ray, I mean, one way or the another, they're selling it 3 times when you buy it once.
Exactly. Now, another good example recently, this is, Tedeschi Trucks Band. I'm a huge fan of them, by the way, on the side too. This is their newest live album. I was going to pick up the vinyl. Looked at it. It doesn't even come with the DVD or anything. is just the vinyl. So I'm like, what the hell? So I went with the CD version because it comes with the Blu-ray of the show, which is the main thing I wanted.
See,
So,
I bought so many DVD or so many CDs because they've had DVDs with them.
Yeah.
And it would be the same thing, you know, if it was the choice between just, okay, it's just the record, or you get the CD of the same thing and a DVD of whatever. I mean, I'm going to buy that.
I think I've only had 2 vinyl that I could think of off the top of my head that actually came with a DVD out of my whole collection, and probably only 2 or 3 that I could think of that came with a CD version of the album as well. So it's just, you know, I do like that idea that if you buy the vinyl, it comes with the CD in it, so you don't have to go out and buy the whole separate, you know.
People that aren't into collecting VHS, I mean, they do the similar situation for VHS. You can buy, some of these independent companies will release a movie that they've restored, and, you know, they'll release it on DVD or Blu-ray and VHS sometimes.
Yeah, because like vinyl, VHS is making a big comeback, and there's, you know, some people don't know this, but there's a lot of people that collect VHS out there. I'm one of them. Brandon's one of them. You know, there's Facebook groups all over that are VHS related, and it's a big collector's market again, and because there's stuff on VHS that was never put on DVD. And for me personally, some of them older movies on VHS, it just feels better to watch them on VHS instead of some sparkly Blu-ray version of it. You know, sometimes certain movies I can do that with, but certain ones it just feels like that's the way they should be watched, is on VHS.
Like some of those DVDs that you'll buy that has like 50 movies, like old monster movies or whatever, and a lot of those transfers are like the generic version of it. It's not like restored and 5.1 this and that. And I would rather watch, even if it's on DVD, because that reminds me of a VHS.
Right. Because
it's not been, you know, touched up or, you know, or whatever.
And like, you know, Kiss Meets the Phantom, like, I pretty much wouldn't want some restored Blu-ray high-def version of it because I like the way it looks on VHS.
You would buy it. You would buy it.
I would, especially if it had extra stuff. That's the main thing.
What if it had like a pack of Gene Simmons blood?
What if I had a patch of the white wolf guy's hair? Or Deborah. But...
Are you listening, Gene?
You know, I that's one of the things about that movie is the way it looks on VHS. It has that sort of age look to it, and you get that extra feel with it. And
well, wasn't it Detroit Rock City, the movie, in the extras, they had, you could watch the movie, I think it was the movie you could watch like it was a feature, or like it was those old reels that you watched in school.
Well, that was just the menu, like the special.
That the menu? I thought there was like an option where you could go into the Easter eggs, or the features in the Easter eggs, and watch it as a film strip or something. I thought there was the option for that.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up.
Maybe that's the Blu-ray that I heard about, but I thought it was the DVD.
I'd have to look that up and see, but I just remember when you go into the menus, it's all like one of those old reels.
Right, yeah, it goes, beep, and then you have to go to the next whatever.
Yep, I remember that. So,
and no one out there, if you're under the age of I don't know what, would know what the heck we're talking about.
Well, hopefully though, if you are a Kiss fan and not a casual that loses your love for the band and snap of a finger, you'll know what we're talking about. So, all right, we're gonna.
And by the way, if you don't know what we're talking about, you can always Google it.
Yes. So we're gonna wrap this thing up, and again, if there is anyone that has interest in being a guest or even a host, get a hold of us.
Like an aura around your head.
Yes, I'm holy. Again, we're not expecting you to be the rocket scientist of KISS knowledge, because we're not either.
Or the rock and roll over scientist.
There you go. Or the Phantom of the Park.
Or the rock and roll night scientist.
Because we're not either, but we would like you to be
the Rockin' in the USA scientist.
Larger than life. We would like you to be larger than life with your information and not give us
You can even be a plaster caster if you want.
Yeah, and not give us a rocket ride and turn around and quit the show 2 weeks later. So get a hold of us.
But we don't want to see your love gun.
Oh my God. I don't know.
That would shock me.
There you go. Let's see, I couldn't think of nothing there. So. And you have to take the oath to join the show.
You have to say I.
Oh my God.
We should do a whole podcast just like that.
There you go. There you go. And we still got to do the Phantom one of these days.
Right.
We'll do that. So, all right, everybody. So, again, I hope the information for the Gene box set comes out real soon. Leave us some comments, what you think about it, what you're hoping to see in it, and some of the other stuff we talked about. Give us some input. Again,
and might leave a link to that if we can remember to do it.
There you go.
To the box set thing, bobber.
Yeah, the thingy. And again, once again, if you want to come on the show and talk some KISS with us, get a hold of us, leave a comment somewhere, we'll see it. Same goes if you're interested in being a co-host. So, all right, I don't think there's anything else to wrap up with. I think that pretty much does it. Facebook, like us on Facebook,
YouTube, all that.
Subscribe on the YouTube channel.
Follow us and like us and share us.
All right, so thanks again for watching, everyone. That was easy for me to say. We will see y'all next week.